Hi, everyone. We are here for our third and final open mic as part of a Smoke-Along Summer. And our participants, around 200 of them, have been drafting for around 2 months now, 3 writing tasks a week, and just in general, enjoying each other's company in a Smoke-Along Summer. And we will do it again next year. So look for that. And we will also be doing other events. And we are planning Afterglow, which will be presented in October and November this year. But all the participants of a Smoke-Along Summer will be invited at a discount price if they want to participate. It is so sort of attached to a Smoke-Along Summer. If you want to keep going, we'll let you do it for a drastically reduced price. Everyone in a Smoke-Along Summer, and of course everyone in Smoke-Along Fitness as well. Without further ado, we're going to get to the readers today. We are going to give away some prizes in the big ass raffle. Ass there stands for Smoke-Along Summer, but it's quite funny that we've been using it that way for around 3 years now. Okay, so our first reader, and these people don't know who the first reader is, but I did. Our first reader is Patience McHarness. Patience lives and writes in Brittany, France. Her work has appeared or is forthcoming in Citron Review, JMWW, Flash Fiction Magazine, Roi Fanien, she's gonna have to tell me how to pronounce that, and elsewhere. She likes writing about mythical figures, strange old women, and the sea. Now, Patience, how do you pronounce? Do you pronounce that in the French, or is it just Roy Fanient?
I have no idea. It's my first acceptance. I'm assuming Roy Fanient.
Or I was going to say Roi Fanien, but people probably pronounce it Roy Fanient. What are you going to read for us today, Patience?
My response to task 15, basic bodies, which is slightly rude. A geophysicist consults the experts 3 times. 1. Rosalie consults the family doctor about flatulence. He says there's a condition called meteorism where you fart all the time. Rosalie is delighted. Not only does she have the weighty opinion of a medical man and a ready-made comeback when her mum flinches and says, "But surely you could just hold it in," but she loves that word meteorism. It suggests blazing cosmic velocity. The largely unexplored map of her 15-year-old body now has a mythic zone labelled "Here be comets." 2. Rosalie consults the doctor in the student health centre about why sex hurts. What she actually says is the intercourse is rather painful because it sounds more grown up and more in keeping with this solemn, new, perplexing thing they're trying to do. It's not new to her boyfriend, but he's only done it a couple of times and those didn't go well. And when Rosalie tells him it hurts, he looks as if he's going to cry. The doctor suggests she might not be ready. And Rosalie thinks, does she mean I'm too young? There's a girl in her flat share who's only 17, and from the way she talks, she's been doing it for ages. Penetrate, poke, bang, shag, all sound pretty violent, like a blunt thing battering at barred gates in a film about a medieval siege. Once Rosalie got hold of a soft porn novel and various girls crowded into her bedroom while her parents were out, and her best friend Carrie read aloud a description of oral sex, while the others giggled or went "no," and finally fell silent when the woman in the book convulsed and convulsed, and then Carrie said, "Is that meant to be fun?" Carrie was on holiday in Mexico when there was an actual earthquake. She said afterwards that a promise of the earth moving was the last thing that would make her want to have sex. Rosalie was on holiday in Ibiza when a night of assorted cliches, including sangria, guitar music, and smouldering eyes, revealed the meaning of ready and launched her on a mind-blowing journey of research. 3. Rosalie consults a therapist about her sex addiction. They start by discussing different addictions: coffee, alcohol, weed, ecstasy, heroin, which ones she's tried, all of them, which are most dangerous, and which are gateways to something else. The therapist, who Rosalie thinks of as middle-aged, though he's probably about her own age, 36, was recommended by Carrie, who's been seeing him about her difficulties with letting go in the bedroom. He encourages Rosalie to share detailed memories of the stuff she's done, which takes months and costs thousands of pounds, but doesn't necessarily move Rosalie to where she wants to be, which is in an exclusive relationship with someone who changes the contours of the world, where even having children doesn't seem such a crazy notion. The therapist asks what attracted her to geophysics as a career, hinting that words like rocks, lava, earthquake might somehow have triggered her sex addiction. She notes how the sweat breaks out on his high forehead as he speaks, and wonders about his motives for choosing his own career, and finally drags her mind back to tectonic plates shifting, liquid rock forming new continents, the comet that wiped out the dinosaurs but opened the way to new iterations of life. Thank you.
Excellent. And your transition from section to section, really well done. That she went from her second section to their third section to addiction. That's flash, everyone, because there's so much left off the page there, but yeah, she went from that to addiction. Very good. Patients loved it. Our second reader is, yeah, there you go. Our second reader is Annie Banerjee. Annie Banerjee is a human most of the time. Annie, true. I've known that for quite some time. But you're also in the new Flash Fusion anthology. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I blurbed it, so I know you're in it. Patience, did you get a copy of this while you were, I'm putting you on the spot. Just say yes, you did. Okay, at the UK Flash Fixes, you did, okay. You've got it there? Oh, she's gonna get it, right. Yeah, there you go. We did not plan this, Annie. Yeah, the Flash Fusion, South Asian, a collection of South Asian writers, and it just came out. And we are going to be using it in September as our reading group selection. And the publishers of the anthology are going to let us read it for a drastically reduced price. So I don't think I should say that yet, but how much exactly. But we're going to be able to read this anthology together. I've already read it because I blurbed it, and it is an excellent anthology of Southeast Asian writers. Annie, what are you going to read for us today?
Actually, I was going to read a piece from there. Haven't seen the book yet, but
Well, Patience held it up. Let's see.
Thank you.
Hold it up again, Patience.
That's okay. I saw it. I saw it when she did. Nice.
Okay.
I haven't received my copy yet. So I'll just read the first piece that I have, and it's called The Tantric. Adjacent to the burning ghats in Benares, in the narrow, winding maze of lanes filled with stores selling marijuana and scented cardamom, in a tiny one-bedroom apartment lived a girl and her mother. They would climb on their roof and watch the flames and smoke rising from the ghat, The mother told the girl that when she died, the girl should burn her there because people burned there would reach moksha from the life and death cycle. But the girl said, if you are not born again, who will look after me? Somebody else will, her mother promised. When her mother died, the girl was only 9. People told the girl that she was unlucky because her mother died on a Tuesday morning. Bad timing, they said. Be careful because bad things will happen to you. Like what? The girl asked. But they just looked at the ceiling and folded their hands and did not answer. The girl's father would seldom come home. People said he had another family somewhere else. The father showed up, took the gold necklaces and bangles from the mother's body, said he would be right back, left the house, and did not return. On the third day, when the mother's body started to smell, the girl covered her up in a bed sheet and carried her on her shoulder to the burning ghat. The priest said she needed money before he let her inside the waiting room, but the girl did not have any. The priest took pity on her and said she could go wait, but she needed to find the money for the burning. Maybe a rich man will donate the money, he said. In the waiting room, bodies were lined up, all covered in white muslin, nicely wound with ropes. It was there that the girl's mother spoke to her. See that body in the leftmost corner? Replace her with that body and take it home. Feed the body some Ganga water. As you pass by the market, pick up whatever food you want. No one will ask for money. The girl did as she was told and put the new corpse on her shoulder. As she stepped up from the ghat, the evening prayers floated in from the other ghats, and the night market was in full swing. The girl picked up some fish, eggplants, potatoes, rice, and tomatoes. The sellers were horrified at the sight of a little girl carrying a corpse and did not ask for money. Back in the house, she fed Ganges water to the corpse, and it became a woman. She was younger than her mother. She said, I will be your new ma for the day, but at night I will become a corpse as I rest. The girl consented, and often in the evening she would carry the corpse to the night market and pick up whatever she wanted cooked. The corpse would just lie at night, sleep, and wake up from the girl before the girl did in the morning. Word spread that the girl was a tantric. She commands corpses. She's Ma Kali herself. She can grant all your wishes. People flocked to see her blessing, but Numa advised not to open the door to anyone until she was older. Ultimately, the news got to her father, and her father came. The girl opened the door because Numa said she could, and when he came in, Numa asked for the jewelry of the first wife. The father did not have them. Numa said that they need to be given to the girl. Numa said that she would go with him to the other house and take the jewelry from her older daughter who was wearing them. Numa came back with Old Ma's jewelry and the girl wore it. Numa said she took care of the father and that he would not bother her anymore. Soon the girl became a beautiful young woman. Numa said that the girl go to Kolkata and find some work. She also asked the girl to take her to the ghat and burn her before leaving. This time, the girl had money. The corpse was doused in the Ganges and placed on the wooden pyre. The girl took the torch and placed it on the face of the corpse, but instead of New Ma's face, she saw Old Ma's face.
Thank you so much, Annie. I love the fairy tale aspect of that. And you can read that in Flash Fusion, and it's out now. It was launched at the UK Flash Fiction Festival, and I saw Sarah Hills holding it up, right? You were reading along. Yep, There you go. Excellent. Our next reader is Anne Louise Pepper. She, her, is a former educator who lives in Western Washington with her family, 10 uppity chickens, and an old but spry dog. Her work has appeared in Citron Review, Vast Chasm, and other fine publications. Hi, Anne. What are you going to read for us today?
I'm going to read a very short piece of CNF inspired by exercise number 7. It's called A Grain of Rice. Okay, here we go. A grain of rice. Mom tells me not to be dramatic, like she can see me, naked, wrapped in a blanket by my open window, lights off, but we're on the phone. It was only the size of a grain of rice, Mom says. You could fit it on the tip of your finger. I think about sticky rice, porcelain bowls, and bright gelatinous scoops, rice on conveyor belts, a whole Milky Way of it, and one grain still inside me, a tiny roll of cells clustered around an even tinier fold, a heart that's meant to thrum but is still. He, I imagine he, is a minuscule jellyfish, formed but inert, inviolable. I have a suppository that will clear him in a storm of contractions, but I can't bring myself to use it, not yet. Mom tells me I shouldn't feel bad. Obviously, it was imperfect, and we don't want imperfection. I don't contradict her, but frankly, I'm a fan of imperfection. I ask if she's ever gone through this, and she says, of course not, but it happened to other women she knew. A few of them had miss after miss, and then she stops talking. I set my jaw, and I think about small, urgent things like fingertips and pills and grit in your eye, about bowls filled and grains scattered, and pinpricks in the honest night sky, blazing but wavering, suns that blinked out years ago, but I still see their light.
Excellent. I love the rhythm of that. I'm sorry, I was muted. I must have muted myself when I thought I unmuted myself. Thank you so much, Anne. Excellent rhythm in that micro. We are going to give away a prize. So, Anne, give me a number between 2 and 16.
8.
8. All right. That means it's Molly McLean. Molly, you've won feedback from 3 senior editors, and I'm going to send you that link. If I had something to write with, I would write these things down. I'm going to send you that link for the feedback. And Molly, yeah, so unmute yourself. Give me a number between 2 and 16.
11.
11. Here we go. That's 9, 10, 11. And it's Jen Edson. Jen, you're also going to get feedback from 3 senior editors. And I'll be sending you that link.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You should get up at 5 on a Saturday. You absolutely should.
Exactly.
Thank you.
People get up early.
Wow. Yay.
So Jen, give me a number between 2 and 16.
15.
15, easy, because it's like right at the end. It's Laura Nagel. Laura, you're also going to get feedback from 3 senior editors. So that was Laura Nagel, Jen Edson, and Molly McLean. All right, now welcome back, everybody. We are here with our 3rd and last open mic for a Smoke Long Summer. Now we have an open mic or another event in Smoke Long Fitness every month. And in August, we're going to have a few events. My Elements of Flash workshop on the 3rd. There's the Dreams webinar on the 11th. On the 17th, Molly Giles is coming to read for us. And so, yeah, our reading group selection in August is Molly Giles' Lifespan, memoir in Flash. So, and if you haven't bought that yet, go out and buy it because we love Molly. Now, our next reader is, it is Travis Flatt. He, him, is a teacher and actor living in Cookeville, Tennessee, yay, Tennessee. His stories appear in Fractured Lit, Gone Lawn, Flash Frog, and other places. He enjoys theater and dogs, often with his wife and son. Hey, Travis, what are you going to read for us today?
Let's see, is my mic on? I am reading a story I wrote in the summer. I forget the task, and it's going to come out in McQueen's Quinterly, and it's called, here, one second, it's called Gladiator. Okay. All right. I'm fighting to stay earthbound. I kicked the shit out of a wheat field, slashing swath through like a scythe. If you get mad enough, you see pink lightning, not red. I'm stuck at the family hunting lodge with my brother and my cousin Andy. They refuse to drive me home for my sack of weed. We've been here for 3 hours. I already smoked the quarter I brought. They sat on the porch talking deers and rifles while I smoked bowl after bowl like a choking man slurping up oxygen. I thrash through wheat and grow angrier. First, it was Depakote, which ballooned and depressed me. Now it's Kepra, which makes me kill wheat wanting weed. The latter, my doctor said, might better wrestle down the seizures, though it's just flung away like a child off the back of its father. Smoking carries me to the doorstep of normal. I stomp back inside and announce I left my medicine at home. I'll have a seizure if they don't take me back now. Those are both lies. There's enough medication in my blood to last a couple of days. Andy, who's still panicky about my tumor, flies into action and begins packing our bags. But my brother, who scowls watching me, stops him. He's lying. I dive on my brother to cram those words down his throat. He pulls my arms down. Come on. We twist and turn through the cabin, clumsy like children imitating wedding dancers, me scrabbling for his lips, clawing. We flip a coffee table over, send beer bottles rolling. One rests at the feet of a stuffed bear, a trophy shot by some uncle or cousin decades ago. My brother's more weary than angry. All right, just come on now. He guides me towards one of the beat-up couches, but I pull at the neck of his t-shirt and we spill backwards out the door, down the porch. My grip anchors me upright. We end up back in the wheat. I release him and drop into the stalks, dirt, and rocks. When he goes to help me up, I've yanked out crumples of wheat to cram into his shirt. I'll make him a scarecrow to blow away in the wind. Andy's pulling us apart. My brother backs away, spitting out grains. And I sit screaming and howling, throwing handfuls of wheat. And they leave me there, shrieking, howling. I jump. I'll wrestle the clouds down. I'll twine my fingers through them like tangles of hair and haul myself up, gnash the ankles of angels. I crouch, sprawl, bowing to the wheat. Andy calls to me from the porch, holding a baggie. He says he's been saving an eighth of what he dubiously names pineapple kush for later, that if I just ask politely. We sit on the porch with a joint, me in the middle. Were you mowing the lawn? My brother says, a wheat stalk dangling from his lips. My cousin laughs. That was crazy, man. And at that word, I burst into tears. Both of them wing an arm around me. I tell them, I'm losing control. It's too big. I can't die. As they comfort me, I beg them not to tell anyone that I've said the D word. Let's shoot something, Andy says, meaning bottles off the fence that runs alongside the driveway. We'll get up early for deer and find nothing to kill, none of our hearts in it. Shamelessly, I ask, can we smoke again? Andy looks to my brother, unsure. My brother nods, exhausted, while they roll another joint. I walk through the field and run my palms along the grains in apology. And Andy says, "You look like Gladiator." And the wheat tickles my palm. It's calming. "That's heaven," I say. "He's in heaven."
Wow, that was excellent. Oh my goodness, the action in this is so much the story. And you know, so a lot of times when there's a lot of action in a story, sometimes we're like, oh my God, where's the story? Where's the story? My God, the action is the story here. All of this falling about, and it's really moving. And Sarah Hills, you're right. It's so moving. Thank you so much, Travis.
Thank you.
Marie-Louise McGinnis is our next reader. Marie-Louise McGinnis comes from a wonderfully neurodiverse household in rural Ireland. She has work published or forthcoming in numerous literary magazines, including The Forge, Banshee, Flash Frog, Milk Candy Review, Splonk, Gone Lawn, and Bending Genres. She was longlisted for the Bath Short Story Award and has been nominated for a Pushcart Prize. She enjoys writing from a sensory perspective. Hi, Marie-Louise. What are you going to read for us today?
I'm reading, it's still kind of a draft, and it was kind of prompted by the Changing Bodies prompt during the summer. Just a wee trigger warning, it does mention dying. It is about dying and death. So it is 2 a.m. in the palliative care ward, and only serrated edged breaths, increasingly staggered, increasingly laboured pulse from your lips. I've lathered them in Vaseline to stop the peeling, but their shine, along with your newfound gauntness, lends you a hungry look, and all the nerves in my body scream to squeeze some yogurt onto a spoon for you. But the doctor said feeding you now would be like expecting a newborn baby to eat a fillet steak. When I hold your hand, it is no longer the crepe papery softness I expect. It is a daffodil wax texture with creeping vines of purple gathering pace at the edges of your fingernails. The skin around my own hand is starting to loosen and crinkle. I squint and through tears pretend it is yours. Away from your bed, the air is inky thick, and I think of the solo conversations you were having before you lost your voice. It gutted me that I couldn't remember that joy in you. The watermelon slice smiles you sent gladly into those dark corners. The smiles I remember are more slivers of onion. I take the dressing gown you'll never wear again and wrap it around me. It isn't the dressing gown I want to snuggle in. That one hangs on a hook in your bedroom. It is navy blue with threadbare patches at the elbows and burnt orange streaks of bleach spattered like fireworks along the front. This one is thick and lush and red. It smells of hospital, disinfectant, and the moisturizer the nurses recommended to shoo itches from your drying skin. It will be the first thing I throw into the bin when you're gone. But I'll be grateful for it if we're still here tomorrow night. For as time passes, the palliative care ward gets colder.
Okay, thank you. The descriptions there, incredible, very good. Thank you. Our next reader and is Shira Musicant. Shira Musicant lives in the foothills of Santa Barbara. Her recent Shira Musicant lives in the foothills of Santa Barbara. Her recent and forthcoming stories can be found in Santa Barbara Literary Journal, Bright Flash, Vestal Review, Witchcraft, and Fourth Genre. What you going to read for us today, Shira?
Well, let's see, Christopher. I was going to sorry, I'm working the new Zoom form and trying to find out how to minimize everyone so I can see my screen.
full screen.
Oh.
There we go. All right, here we go. I'm going to read a piece that I've been workshopping just this week with the editing tasks. So here it is. Marriage is a safety net, catching them when they miss. They design a future, scratching plans in notebooks and journals, on paper napkins in a diner. They make lists to pin things down so those things do not fall through the weave of their relationship as things are wont to do. This is for love. This is to remember. This is to remind. Watching the fountain and the bird feeder, she makes a backyard bird list. Scrub jay, lesser goldfinch, spotted towhee. Her baby names list comes from random encounters with waitresses who have names like Lily and Vesta, or from novels, Eliot, Samuel, Bernadette. His list comes from standings recorded on the internet, Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings. His names are numbered. There are wins and losses and points, divisions and playoffs, leagues and conferences. One list spawns another, more words growing and multiplying, left on the table, tucked in books, held on the refrigerator with magnets. She tells him the Oreos have left for warmer weather. He tells her that a quarterback has been traded. She asks if he likes the name Ariel. He asks about dinner. It is soup making season. Chop, chop, carrot, celery, onion, chicken, all the ingredients in one pot. A recipe suggests adding a sweet potato. It can't hurt. Throw in a bay leaf, boil the sucker. She doesn't mean that. She does not feel hostile to the soup. She likes to cook. Wielding the remote, he watches a game. He used to play. He used to want to play. But that longing is buried now in armchair excitement and paper records of wins and near wins, buried in husband and provider. While the soup simmers, she takes a walk. Turkey vultures circle and swoop in the late afternoon thermals. The sun edges through the clouds, throwing light on the road ahead, her shadow growing and shrinking. It is wavery and grotesque, but clearly rooted to her feet, taking up the light. Yardage is won and lost, given and taken. Information scrolls across the screen, and the faithful, he among them, track the numbers, keeping a close watch. The sun slips out of the sky and the game is over. Triumphant, he reports. Rams 17, Seahawks 14, close fourth quarter. Her report is written in her journal. Gravida 3, para 0, close second trimester. Her body knows the meaning of the words, the hope and the loss. She announces dinner. Good soup, he says. She saves the recipe. The Oreos will return next spring and the games next fall. She flips past her growing bird list to the baby names. They are a promise, like a rose waiting to unfurl. She puts his name next to chicken soup and sweet potato to remind herself that he likes this recipe. Her birthday is next week, and he writes her name on a to-do list just below lawn and oil change.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. And I never muted myself. I was just mesmerized, as someone pointed out, and by many things about that, line by line by line by wonderful line, and read beautifully. You are a star, Shira. When your voice is just beautiful. Every time I'm just like, oh, Shira's going to read. Love it. I love your voice. I don't want to embarrass you at all. That's not my intention, but I think it's. I think we're 100% all in agreement on that. Yeah. Our next reader is Molly McLean. Molly McLean is currently writing Flash in what used to be Austin, Texas. Her work has appeared in Pithead Chapel, Bear, and two of Pamela Desbarres' books on writing memoir, and she is rumored to have kissed Alex Chilton, and I'm really embarrassed, I don't know who that is, in a Greensboro sports bar in a previous life. She is occasionally on Twitter as Penny Priddy, Priddy. And if you know where she found this handle, she will buy you a Coke. What about like a Coke Zero? Would that work too?
Sure. Yeah, whatever you want.
Still don't know where you got the handle. But very, very quickly, who is Alex Chilton? I didn't have time to look him up.
Do you know a band called Big Star? Do you know the song The Letter by the Box Top from the 60s? You know, give me a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't
Oh,
got
yeah.
time to take. He's that singer.
All right. Then thank
It's
you very
fairly
much.
obscure. It's fairly
All right.
obscure.
Mystery solved. What would you like to read for us today?
I'm going to read a piece that was a response to the fantasy prompt. I think that was the first fortnight. CNF, and it's called Seven of Cups, which is the fantasy wish fulfillment card in Tarot. They lay her against your chest in the delivery room. She's the weight of a small cat, her cheek to your heart, searing. You are the only light in her eyes. She is your mirror. Exhausted, you hand her to your mother, who presses a kiss against her down for a long moment and then gives her back to the nurse. You wake later in a hospital bed, in a body newly hollow, your heart sewn up with broken needles and old thread. You close your eyes against the growing of the light, and she is there, leaning out from the shadows. She is one. She toddles for the sliding doors as you get home from work, her mop of honey brown bouncing, a sticky hand against the glass. You drop your purse, your keys, the groceries, the world. She is in your arms, your little altar. She is 5, eyes wide, hungry for everything in velvet brown like yours, like your father's. She's the star of kindergarten, already reading, the teacher's pet, like you. You discourage this favoritism, even as your heart wills your little Aries to take everything she can get. She is 12. She climbs into bed with you in the middle of the night to tell you she is dying. You take her to the bathroom in the dark, fumble under the sink for the Kotex, sit on the edge of the tub in the moonlight coming in from the patio. Her shadow presses the thick mattress of cotton against her underwear, and you're not sure, but you think she says, "I'm so glad you're here." She sits down beside you, her head knocking against your shoulder. She is 18, graduation gown flapping in the wind, fingers visored against the stadium lights until she spots you. She pulls the cap from her long dark hair and tosses it into the air, her hands so like your mother's. Her smile rivals all the stars in the night sky. Short, like her father, who you barely remember. She slips arms around your waist, her cheek hot against your chest, and you are 18. Still blue about the boy who popped your cherry the last week of high school. It's the 4th of July, and your friends say, "Come to the beach. He's not worth it, and fuck him anyway. Everything melts under the sun." There's beer. There's a blonde boy, a friend of a friend with beckoning eyes. The morning comes with gray skies. You feel different on the ride home. You feel different the whole first semester of college. It's March when she is born. The door cracks open. It's not your mother. It's the nurse who'd asked you earlier what you were going to name your baby, even though they put you on a different ward, not maternity, to avoid questions like this. There's a man in a suit speaking words you can't hear. He slides papers across the overbed table. The pen stutters on the blurry line next to natural father. You scratch none. Next to adoptive parent is a name you aren't supposed to see. The man is talking to the nurse about the Astros game. You lean in, cover the paper with a forearm, hand bent like you're stopping the kid next to you from cheating. That name on repeat, in your blood, in your bones, a mantra for someday as you sign your own.
That moved so well. I just boom, 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 boom. That's really good movement in Flash. Thank you so much, Molly. Now, unmute yourself because I want you to give me a number between 2 and 16. Yeah, you're getting to do this twice. I know.
Okay. I'm going to say lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. That would be, it's got to be Marilyn Duarte because because it would have been you, Jen Edson, but because we're going to give away as many different people. So Marilyn Duarte, you are getting feedback also from the editors. And Marilyn, give me a number between 2 and 16.
9.
All right. And that is Laura D. Laura D, who's going to be reading for us in just a couple of minutes after our next. And now, Laura D, you have won a book from the book fair. Now, all you have to do is, oh, wait a minute, have you won a book from the book fair already?
I have, but there is one I would like.
Oh, okay, good. That's fine. All right. Okay. So, yeah, just tell me which one you'd like in a direct message on the workshop. And yeah, since I already have your information, I guess it would be quite easy. Okay. And Laura D, give me another number between 2 and 16.
11.
11. Okay. That would make just a second. Let me, yeah, that's 5, 10, and 11. And this is LJ Caporoso, who will be also reading for us. Now, LJ, you have won senior editor feedback from one, like an intense critique. So we will try to get it, or you can get it from your mentor, but it will be another critique. Okay, and so I'll put that down for you. Okay, so we have 3 more to give away, and these will be given away to, or 4 more. Yeah, 4 more to be given away, and they will be given away to people outside and just people in the workshop. So we'll get them something too. Welcome back, everyone. We are here for our 3rd and final open mic for a Smoke Long Summer with some brilliant readers. We have 3 more readers to go, and then we're going to give away some stuff. Our next reader is LJ Coparuso. Well, she's from Toronto, and she wrote what you're about to hear. What would you like to read for us, LJ?
It's just a working draft. I workshopped a few weeks ago in Smoke Long, so we'll see. It's called Diet, or A Lesson on Tenacity. When our waiter asks if we're having dessert, my health nut daughter tells him we aren't. I smile. I'll have the chocolate cake. Dad, no. I take out my wallet, pretending I don't hear her. And the bill, please. The waiter hurries off with a nod, and my daughter sighs. What happened to your diet? This is my diet. Chocolate cake is part of your diet now? That's right. Can't believe you're quitting. You always said no one's quitting anything. Oh yeah? What about your goal to lose weight? I still have that goal. She doesn't look convinced. Look, Darlene, a person can only lose weight when they're losing weight. Her face gets all frowny. I hate that. So I try again. Honey, if I were to only lose weight, I'd eventually disappear. Then how would I lose weight? Dad, so it just stands to reason that I'd have to gain weight at some point. Otherwise, I'd have to abandon my goal of losing weight. Still frowny. Damn it. I consider calling off the whole thing. Then the cake arrives and I come to my senses. I thank the waiter, then take a bite, remembering joy. God, that's good. I take another bite. Anyway, I can't abandon my goal of losing weight. I've come too far. Another bite. I've sacrificed too much. Then a mouthful. Dad, stop. I finish my bite. I'm sorry, honey. Then take another. But your dad's no quitter.
Thank you, LJ. I love that ending. And it's one of those endings that does take you a little bit by surprise, and which is good. And I love the way you turned sort of the dynamic, because you would expect a parent to be chastising the child, but it is the child chastising the parent, and it changes the dynamic in such a pleasing way. Love that. Thank you so much. And our next reader is Laura D. Is an amateur spoken word artist and writer living in Ohio farm country. Hi, Laura. What you going to read for us today?
Hello. I'm going to read a small piece from Task 13, the Sounds prompt, called You Just Never Know Who You're Going to Meet. You can't be too careful these days. Pearl closed the car door decisively, her pinky finger rocking the door latch even as she settled behind the wheel. Thump. Click. Lydia, close your door already. Lydia rolled her eyes. Thump. Pearl, you've been a little special since taking that self-defense class. Pearl lunged across her twin's lap, slamming the manual door latch. Click. Lydia, have you watched the news lately? I'm telling you, you just never know who you're going to meet. Pearl unclenched her fist, letting the keys fall that were protruding between each knuckle like an urban housewife's Wolverine. She plugged the proper one into the ignition and checked her mirrors. It's a wonder we've survived this long, Lydia drawled. As the pair pulled into the Department of Motor Vehicles, Pearl began her oral checklist. We'll park under the light post for visibility. No, one spot over. The car next to the light has rust. Lydia chuckled. Light, Pearl? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How long do you think it takes to renew license plates? The two women moved through the parking lot, Pearl clipping ahead of Lydia. Lydia was wading through her purse for her checkbook when Pearl stopped. The women collided. Lydia, Pearl spat out the side of her mouth. I think he's looking at us. There was indeed a man across the lot, walking in their direction. Pearl, not all young men in dark clothing with long hair and chains on their pants are dangerous. Lydia pulled her sister by the elbow up the sidewalk. Just keep walking. Faster, Pearl hissed. At least the bushes are between us. Just as the door was in reach, a jingling blur hurtled over the landscaping into their path. Thump. He stretched out his arm and pulled the door open. Sorry, you walked faster than I anticipated. He smiled. After you, ladies. Lydia squeezed Pearl's hand, then fished her phone from her purse. Young man, may I take your picture? Just to remind us, you just never know who you're going to meet.
That was delightful. Thank you. Yeah, and cinematic. I was watching that as you were reading it, thinking, yeah, I can see all of this wonderfully. Yeah, thank you, Laura. And our last reader is Marilyn Duarte. Marilyn Duarte is a Luso-Canadian writer whose writing has appeared in Longleaf Review, Emerge Literary Journal, the Tishman Review, and elsewhere. Marilyn holds an MFA in creative writing from the University of Tampa. Hi, Marilyn. What are you going to read for us today?
I'm going to read a fiction piece that I workshopped a few weeks ago. Okay. It's called Sophia's Sweet 16th. Oops. Shortly after 8 p.m., the four of us, friends since 9th grade, nestled together around a table to share the delish delight, the specialty of this brightly lit restaurant, famous for its weekend lineups that stretched through the three-storied mall. We devoured scoops of Tiger Tail, Rocky Road, and mint chocolate chip ice cream covered with rainbow sprinkles and crushed peanuts, and munched on bite-sized brownies drizzled with warm caramel sauce. That Saturday night, we were there to celebrate and to comfort Sophia. It was the eve of her sweet 16th birthday, and she was going to die at midnight. "We'll hang out, but you're not going to die tonight," we took turns telling her. "No way, nuh-uh." The man who told her this in secret was her mother's boyfriend, turned family friend, who was also some sort of priest in some sort of religion. He'd convinced Sophia that only extraordinary girls died during the transition from adolescence to womanhood, and she was the most special girl he'd ever known. Sophia couldn't explain why, but she told us it was her duty to be sacrificed. We brought up probabilities, painted hypotheticals, recited statistics, and insisted that nothing bad was going to happen to her. "Yes, it is," Sophia said, licking caramel off a brownie. We looked at one another in partial defeat, then promised Sophia that we'd stay with her as tonight turned into tomorrow, and she nodded her appreciation. We tried to say more, but our tongues and teeth momentarily froze, while our mouths could only make oval shapes. When our mouths thawed, we pleaded with Sophia to tell her mother that their family friend had scared her. Sophia sat back in her chair and listened, but something in the nearby distance caught her attention. Her eyes narrowed in on a digital clock on the wall in front of her, its red neon digits announcing it was 9 p.m. "Sophia, Sophia," we took turns saying. Sophia took a deep breath and leaned forward, so we leaned forward too. Whispering, she made us promise over and over again not to tell anybody about her fate, all the while continuing to steal glances at the clock. To soothe her, we agreed to keep her secret. As playfully as we could, we jokingly called dibs on Sophia's personal belongings should she actually die. We claimed her various miniskirts from her favorite vintage store and her record collection, which had the best songs. Our feeble attempts at humor didn't sway her. Sophia studied the clock. Growing serious, we told her we'd miss her sassiness and her snort laugh if she were gone, but we were sure she'd live a long, healthy life. We told her she was too kind and too beautiful not to fall in love, get married, and live happily ever after. Sophia's expression hardened, and she slammed her spoon on her plate, its ping piercing the air and vibrating around us, lingering long after Sophia's stare melted. With smeared chocolate all over her mouth, she told us to stop biting what couldn't be fought, then wiped her lips clean. "It's 9:30, Sophia announced. "We should get a move on." Too full to eat anymore anyway, we put our spoons down, split the bill 3 ways, then rose to leave. The 4 of us wandered through the now closed mall. Our sugar rush propelled us to race one another down a flight of stairs and laugh until our bellies ached, except for Sophia, who hung back and constantly checked her watch. At 11 p.m., we began to search for the perfect hiding spot. By 11:30 p.m., we settled on a narrow hallway that housed small lockers decorated with people's initials, drawings, and declarations, and was hidden away from the occasional drifter and security guards. At 11:59 p.m., we huddled together and sat cross-legged in a circle. We watched as Sophia turned 16. Tick, tick, tick. Moments after midnight, we shrieked with glee. We shook Sophia's shoulders, touched her face, and hugged her tightly. "It's not your time to die," we took turns telling her. We expected her to jump in excitement and laugh at how she'd worried for nothing, but she didn't. Instead, she glanced at her watch. "It's time to go back," she said, "but thanks. You've made this night bearable." At the time, we thought we had, but now, whenever we glance at clocks and watches, we're reminded that we didn't help at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I was going to say teens can be really mean. Oh my goodness. And it takes that turn at the end that you, okay, you have to tell us that did she die?
No.
No, okay, you're not gonna, okay, good.
No.
All right,
No.
good. Okay. But I will be thinking about that though. Okay. Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thank
Now,
you.
now give me a number between, and this is going to sound really strange, but 122 and 212. Don't ask me why, because this is how our spreadsheet works for a smoke long summer. And so you'll be giving somebody in a smoke long summer 2 months of smoke long fitness.
Let's do 122.
Oh, that's easy. That's the first one, which is it will be Allison Field Bell, and I'll be telling Allison Field Bell that she won that. Okay. Shira, give me a number between 132, I think 132 and 212.
137.
122. Oh, 122. Yeah.
Okay.
Say it again.
137.
137. All right. All right. That's Francis Gapper. And we'll be giving Francis Gapper 2 months of Smoke Long Fitness, which these start in September, because everyone in a Smoke Long Summer gets August. Okay. Sarah Hills, give me a number between 122 and 212.
198.
198. And that is Sudha Balagopal. And Sudha Balagopal will be getting feedback from one of our senior editors. I'll write that down. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for now in our final Smoke Long event on August 4th. We will be giving away more prizes, and we'll also that evening, I'm not even sure what time of day it is, we'll also be giving away 1 free year of Smoke Long Fitness to one person. And Video Guy keeps saying, I want it. And yeah, that's a joke. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone who read today. Thank you so much to everyone who came to hear people read. As always, I'm so impressed with your work. You can't say enough about that. And I will see you in the workshop. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.